Hey everybody, so Game of Thrones is coming back for a 7th and penultimate season. That means second to last, so I'm told. And wouldn't you know it, we've never done an episode of What's the Difference on Game of Thrones. So we're going to fix that today. And with me is Laura Prudhomme. How's it going?
It's going good.
Laura is Mashable's TV editor and our resident Game of Thrones expert on all things Seven Kingdoms, I would say.
I would say so, also.
Obviously, this doesn't look like a normal episode of What's the Difference, but because of the topic, we wanted it to be more of a discussion, kind of more conversational. So we're going to have that conversation that's kind of not safe for work in the middle of our workplace. 5 books, 6 seasons worth of TV show. Do you have any idea how we're going to cover all of this stuff in one episode?
No, but I'm very excited to find out.
Let's find out after the title sequence. Here's your spoiler warning, folks. It's time to ask, what's the difference? So, first of all, let's try to get our footing here. So, season 1 is basically book 1.
You got it.
Nailed it. A Game of Thrones. Basically the same as the first season. More or less tells the same story of Ned Stark getting his head chopped off. Season 2, some of book 2, which is A Clash of Kings. Clash of Kings spills a little bit into the end of season 1. There's like a handful of scenes, but nothing major. But that's basically season 2. Then you get into book 3, A Storm of Swords, and that actually, the first half of A Storm of Swords is basically season 3, and the second half of A Storm of Swords is basically season 4. But this is where the show really starts to do different stuff.
Yeah.
Season 5 goes the other way, and there's book 4, and then
Crow's Feast.
A Dance with Dragons. Both of these books, book 4 and 5, are the basis for season 5. Season 6, we got no books for season 6 yet.
Off the map.
Off the map. Theoretically, maybe The Winds of Winter. Thing number 1, when looking at this, there are like literally a million changes. Maybe not literally, but I'm comfortable saying literally.
Literally a million.
A million changes from here to there. So they're impossible to track.
Yes.
You can Google just exhaustive lists that track down every tiny little detail that's different from the book to the show. That's not us, so we're not going to do that.
Not into it.
What we're going to do is we're going to talk about one of the key ingredients to the book and the show, and that's all sex.
One of the biggest criticisms of the show, especially in the early seasons, was the amount of sexposition. You put a pair of tits in the background, you have the characters talking about something boring,
Right.
People pay attention to the boring stuff because they got something nice to look at.
And you end up with scenes like in season 1 over here, where Littlefinger is talking about his childhood being obsessed with Catelyn Stark, and he's telling the story to 2 chicks that are going at it in his brothel.
Well, the books and the show both have a very weird, sometimes awkward relationship with sex in general. Sometimes it's more messed up in the books, sometimes it's more messed up in the show. But the sexual politics of the show have always gotten people riled up, so it's kind of worth digging into why.
It's one of the interesting things that makes reading the books different from watching the shows. So what's the difference? So, first big change, and we get it right off the bat in season 1, book 1, everybody gets aged up. So all of the Stark kids, they're all a little older, which helps because now it's not like, if you see what looks like a 15-year-old kid leading an army like Robb Stark does, it becomes a thing about a 15-year-old kid leading an army.
Right.
Whereas at least Robb Stark in the show, he's still probably a teenager, I guess.
Like
But he's
17,
got a
18,
beard,
whatever.
he's ripped, he looks old enough.
He's
right?
hot, man. We don't mind lusting after him.
The other thing that it gets is Daenerys Targaryen is no longer 13 on her wedding night.
Which is very important because even for HBO, that would be a little bit skeevy. That'd be a little bit too far legally. I'm not sure whether they could even
There
show
are
that. It's
rules.
gross. We don't.
Sure.
We're not into that. We're not going to go down the rabbit hole of like the age of consent in Westeros, what is appropriate or not. But the vibe in the book between Dany and Drogo is very different. It's a lot more consensual for a start, but it's also a lot more intimate, tender. Like he actually asks her permission before they have sex, rather than just doing it
Lean over.
while she cries. It's just not. It's not great for anyone involved.
Meanwhile, there's also the fact that Jorah Mormont,
So friend zone, as we like to call it.
he's so clearly in love with Dany throughout the show. We get all the way to season 6, beyond the books, before he actually says,
I love you. I'll always love you.
in the books though,
It's book 3. He grabs her and kisses her.
Just somewhere
Storm
in
of
here.
yeah, somewhere around here.
Then we start to move into season 2, and then we run into Stannis Baratheon and the Red Lady Melisandre. Ooh. So at this point in season 2, like King Robert has died in season 1. It turns into this whole big chase for the throne. Joffrey wants it. Stannis wants it.
The War of the Five Kings.
The War of the Five Kings,
Very
as they
fantasy.
say. So part of Stannis' strategy, he's got Melisandre, the Red Lady, with him, who's all into the Lord of Light, and in the show, super into sex magic.
Sex magic.
Why not?
What's not to love? But in the books, though, the sexual relationship between Melisandre and Stannis is only ever implied. You never see it happen. And it seems like Stannis is only kind of hooking up with her to create these demon shadow babies, which kill Renly
Right,
in the
assassin
show.
shadows.
Assassin shadow
Sure.
baby murder things.
Uh-huh.
But in the books, it seems like Stannis doesn't actually know that it's happening. He has dreams after Renly is murdered and is like, I feel guilty, but I don't know why, because I was asleep in my tent. What's going on?
Right. So again, a lot of this can be chalked up to HBO being more about tits and dragons, but what it does to Stannis as a character, especially by the time we get into over here, seasons 5 and 6, where like she talks him into burning his daughter at the stake, like,
And it doesn't happen in the books.
and it doesn't happen in the books either, and so that sort of is a change that is traced all the way back to the sexual dynamic between Melisandre and Stannis, which is a strange
Shazamming
choice to
him with
make.
her magic vagina, and
exactly.
it's just
even
not
if,
right.
Even if there's some HBO executive that's like, hey, season 2, let's double down on the tits and dragons, the trickle effect of that is in season 6, it's like, oh, this bitch can talk him into burning his daughter alive.
Yeah, no biggie.
That's where we're at.
Yeah.
So meanwhile, while Stannis is sex magicking his way to the throne, we've got his little brother Renly, who is totally gay in the show. And he is in the book as well. But in the show, Loras is like shaving him. Like, they're gay, it's gay, it's
Yeah,
fine.
it's pretty gay.
It's pretty gay.
It's pretty gay. Which is great, because you don't get to see that a lot in George Martin's book at all. It's kind of very implied. Again, like with the Stannis and Melisandre relationship, it's all very hush-hush and you never see it on the page. But everyone kind of knows about it.
In the show, Marjorie Tyrell, who is Loras' sister, this is where she starts to make her moves in the Game of Thrones. She is setting herself up to be Renly's queen. To do that, she's got to get Renly to get a baby in her. And to do that, she's got to get Loras to come into bed with her and Renly because, you know, teamwork makes the dream work, and that's the only way that we're going to be a queen and a king here.
You decide how you want to do it. With me and Loras, however else you like. You are a king.
She's devious. She's got her eyes on the prize. She wants to be queen. She doesn't care how she gets there. In the books, she's not a player at all in the Game of Thrones until after Renly dies. You get to see a little bit of it in the books, kind of once she marries Tommen. After Joffrey dies, she has very bad luck with dudes. Or good luck, depending
She
on
has
how
the
you-
very bad luck of being a woman in
Game of Thrones. In the show, she's a major player. She's very cunning. She's kind of the puppet master for Tommen. She knows how to work Joffrey.
There's that really great dynamic between her and Cersei in the show where like Cersei can tell. It's like one predator recognizing another predator and being like, I see what you're doing and I don't like it. And then she blows her up, which is a drag. So, speaking of Cersei and Jaime Lannister, Westeros' most powerful incest couple. They're sleeping together. It's a semi-open secret. It plays out more or less the same until we get to right here, which is where they have sex next to their dead son's body. And this riled a lot of people up at the time, I think rightfully so. It is clearly Jaime forcing himself on Cersei.
Yeah. There's not a lot of gray there. It's
No.
pretty obvious. She's saying no a lot and stop and let's not.
Right.
And he's like, I don't care.
Just to prove our point, Jaime, you're a hateful woman. Why have the gods made me love a hateful woman? Cersei. Jaime, not here, please, please. Cersei, stop it, stop it, stop. No, stop it, stop, stop, stop. It's not right, it's not right, it's not right. Jaime, I don't care. Cersei, don't. Jaime, don't. Jaime, I don't care. I don't care. Not a lot of gray area there,
No,
I
that's
think.
pretty cut and dry, I think.
As opposed to in the book, which this happens somewhere in here in the book.
Yeah. Hurry, she was whispering now. Quickly, quickly, do it now, do me now. Jaime, Jaime, Jaime. Her hands helped guide him. Yes, Cersei said as he thrust. My brother, Sweet brother, yes, like that, yes, I have you. You're home now, you're home now, you're home.
Also not a lot of gray area.
Yeah.
They're both pretty into it.
Yeah. In the book, boning in front of Joffrey's corpse is like no big deal. It doesn't change how we...
You're right.
A sentence that I never
A
thought I'd
sentence
say.
that is now part of your job.
Yes. It doesn't change how we view the Lannisters, because they're already kind of messed up. If Cersei's feeling the need for some consensual brother sex, you know, after they've been separated for a year, who are we to judge?
Yeah.
Jaime is also kind of a lovable rogue at this point in the books and this show.
Yeah.
He's been through a whole mess of stuff with Brienne.
Frankly, we were, the whole time he got his hand chopped off, like, I was straight up rooting for Jaime all of a sudden.
And because of how the sex scene plays out in the books, we keep thinking he's a pretty good, redeemable guy. But in the show, everyone freaked out. Like, the internet set itself on fire because of this.
Of all the reasons to specifically make it rape instead of consensual sex, like, could possibly there be a reason that now that Jaime has gone through all of this stuff, it's like a really terrible reminder that, no, Jaime's an asshole. And now that he's back in King's Landing, he's gonna start being a for real asshole again. So like, start hating him again, you guys.
No.
No?
That is not at all what happens.
Well, never
because the show carries on like nothing happened after this. Because the actors, the writers, who are also the showrunners, and the director all said this wasn't intended as rape. We didn't think that this was a rape scene when we were shooting it. The actors weren't playing it as a rape scene.
There could be a reason to make that change of it's like, no, Jaime's been through some stuff and you've been rooting for him, but no, he's a terrible person.
Nope.
Look at what he's doing.
It's awkward, and it made a lot of people unhappy, and they are still unhappy because the actors are still being asked about it, you know, a good 3 or 4 seasons later.
So yeah, all that to say, there are plenty, throughout all of these changes, there are plenty of character-based reasons, changes from the book to the show that make you look at characters a different way, send characters on different trajectories. There are a few of those, but then there are some changes that are just kind of me, like Ramsay Bolton, right?
Just gross.
Ew.
Just ew in general.
In general, he gets an ew. So he's clearly a crazy sadist. He chops off Theon's junk somewhere here. He's got
Wiggles the sausage around.
Yeah, it
great.
acts like he's eating it. But where he hits this high water mark of being f***ed up isn't until right in here. And that is when he marries Sansa, who's one of our favorite people on the show so far, and one of the most thoroughly abused.
Oh god, yeah. She's had wall-to-wall abuse from Joffrey
start to
all the way
finish.
through to him.
All the way from like Arya giving her about being good at knitting to
That asshole.
her wedding night where she gets raped.
Yeah.
Ramsay makes Theon watch because again, Ramsay's f***ed up, but the show focuses on Theon's reaction to it instead of Sansa's, which makes the whole rape of Sansa about Theon.
Yeah, it's gross.
Which is gross.
It's just gross.
How does it happen in the book and why do they change it?
It's much, much worse in the books, if you can believe that, in some ways. And in some ways, it's kind of better, because in the books, Sansa never actually marries Ramsay, because the Lucky Lady is a friend of Sansa's from when she was a kid called Jane Poole, who, stay with us here, is being forced by the Boltons to impersonate Sansa's sister Arya so that the Boltons have a better claim on Winterfell. So we won't get graphic about what happens to Jane on the wedding night.
Although, we could.
We could, but
It's terrifying.
It's not nice. It's heavily implied that Ramsay has made her have sex with his dog.
Okay, so the book is worse because all of the stuff that is actually happening, so much worse. The show is worse because it's happening to Sansa instead of fake Arya that we don't really have a lot of connection to.
Exactly.
So, all of this, what do we think?
What have we learned?
What have we learned today about the changes in the sexual politics from the book to the show?
Where do you begin?
There's a portion of it that you can write off, the sex position stuff you can write off as HBO wanting to be about tits and dragons. But some of it,
It's just nasty.
It's just
for
nasty.
For the sake of being nasty, kind of. I mean, the takeaway is that too many shows use rape as a shortcut for character development. It's, you know, men can't be evil unless they rape someone, and women can't have character growth unless they're raped. How are they ever going to struggle and become a strong person unless they have been through sexual assault? Who knows? In that way, Game of Thrones is sadly like a lot of other TV shows out there. But some of the changes that they've made, you know, as awful as what Sansa's been through is, she is a much stronger and more well-developed character in the show. In the book, she's kind of relegated. She's still stuck in the Eyrie. Here, she's, saving Jon Snow's ass at the Battle of the Bastards and getting Ramsay eaten by his dogs and
which
kind
was
of walking away.
Kind of a weird shorthand to get her to that place.
Exactly. There are other ways that they could have gone and probably should have. And yet we keep watching.
And I can't wait for the
I'm
penultimate
obsessed.
season.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if we learned a thing here, but those are a lot of differences in the sexual dynamic between the books, the Song of Ice and Fire series, and the show, Game of Thrones. Let us know what you think about all that in the comments down below. Did we miss any of your favorite weird exploitive sex moments in the show?
I'm sure we did.
I don't know that I want to hear about them.
No.
Honestly.
Keep that to yourself.
Keep that to yourself. Make sure to like and subscribe. Stick around CineFix for more great movie stuff, more What's the Difference. We'll see you next time.